So, our new section is information disclosure, issues and attacks. So, most of you would think, what is the meaning of information disclosure? In a very keen and simple words, any information that is of some value or is precious to the organization, or it could potentially harm the web application either monetary wise or status wise, or it could stop the functioning, affect the functioning of that web application, is a information disclosure. If you got any file which could rampant the company's reputation, it could affect them on a monetary terms, and if you get any of those files, that's an information disclosure. For example, if you get the password of this database, you can steal all the data. If a hacker gets the source code, he could disrupt all the website. So any information which is of some value to a web application is termed as an information disclosure. The attacker can escalate his her privileges from the information being disclosed by the vulnerability. He could do a remote code execution, a full website takeover even, by using this information disclosed. We will learn more about it in the next practical sessions. Lab of information disclosure and error messages. This lab's verbose error messages reveal that this is using a vulnerable version of a third-party framework, right? So it says on when it gives an error, it tells us about some particular information about the website and how we can get that information by providing some URL that don't exist. Okay, so it's not giving a specific information, so we will see how we can do this. It says while the burp running, open one of the product pages, okay, and request now keep changing the value of the product ID to a non-integer data such as a string. Okay, so on giving some error messages, it reveals some information about the web page. See, we would take this response and we let me get it back. I would write ABCD. Got it? When I write ABCD, it gave an internal server error and it shows me Apache Struts 2.3 point something version. So it tell me the internal server version, and I could write the version and the exploit, right? And an exploit is already available for this version, so it's very easy for me to exploit it because it only gave me an error about how we can hack this. It himself told me about that this particular web application is using a vulnerable version, and we can directly exploit it by using any terminal, using the MSF console and the CVEs present for it. So this is how information disclosure can be very dangerous for the web application. This is an advanced type of information disclosure, and how we can use that information disclosed to do the authentication bypass. Let's see. So on this particular application, we want to get into the admin panel. So for doing that, we would write /admin. See, on doing this, it gave us an information admin interface only available to local users. Now it is an information disclosure, but we can't report it because we haven't exploited it yet. There is a rule that you can't tell things you didn't exploit it. It doesn't mean that you will do the remote code execution on the server and then tell the authorities that RC is possible. I don't mean that. At least you have some PoC that how you use this system or how you use this information disclosed to escalate your privileges. Now, I would say here that I can't get a bounty out of this message, but what if I use this information to do the authentication bypass? How would I do this? I know this gave me a information that it can be only accessed by the local users. So how a website denotes that this particular user is of local, and we all know that the local users have an IP 127.00.1, right? So we would turn the intercept as on. I would refresh it, and on to analyzing this thing, I would send this to repeater. On sending it, it says unauthorized access, right? It says an unauthorized access, and we can't get it. But I can't see anything that could tell the interface that I am not the local user. So let's use a method of sending information, trace. It is an HTTP method like post, get, put, right? We would place trace. On doing this, we come to know about a lot of information about this website, and it says X-Custom-IP-Authorization. This is my IP. Now I come to know that this is authenticating me on the basis of this. Now how we can do this is, I can add a custom header of the local host out here 127.0.0.1, and I would say get, right? On doing this, I get a response okay, and I would refresh it, but this can't be loaded because it was in response to this particular request. I would say show response in browser, copy and paste. See, I got the admin panel and Carlos. So you got a better understanding how I escalated my privileges. So you might be thinking why I am not able to delete the user Carlos, because you have to be in that authorization mode. You have to be in the localhost mode to do the activities of the admin. I will show you how you can do this. Let's say I am into this admin panel. Okay, so go on to the proxy, intercept on Carlos, add a custom header. You can automate this process as well. But I would prefer to do it manually. Let me get things into place. I would add a custom header out here which says, let me drop it. Let me start it from scratch. When I refresh, okay, so I want to delete this user Carlos, and I would click on delete, and I want to add a custom header of the local user and click on forward. Once I forwarded it as a local user, the lab is solved, because the website believes that I am the real admin and I can do any stuff. So I escalated my privileges from a P5 bug, which won't give me a bounty, to a P1 bug. This is how you hunt big, think big. Thank you.